Whether it's cars, comics, video games, or violins, there's a little geek in all of us. It's time to give your geek a voice. It's time for Geek Therapy. Here's your host, Johnny Hamburger.
Before we start, the show that comes on before mine, Black Coffee Radio, which you should all be listening to also, it's Justin King's birthday. So I'm going to sing Justin happy birthday right, meow. Let me do my little pitch pipe here. Me, 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 me. I'm going to sing it in the key of T-Pain. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Justin. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, man. Happy birthday, man. What is going on, my geeks? I hope you've had a great week. And you know what I just realized? My show that starts at 12 a.m. Sundays, 12:06 technically after the news and a minute of spots, my show is the very first show of the week. It's the very first radio show you can listen to in the entire week, 12 a.m. Sundays. Or I like to think of it as midnight Saturdays, but whatever you want to call it, Geek Therapy is the first thing you should listen to every week. Get your geek boost, get your geek heart pumping about whatever it is you're passionate about, and tell me whatever it is you're passionate about. Tell me about your geek thing. Send me an email, geektherapy@iheartmedia.com. Again, that's geektherapy, all one word, at iheartmedia.com. Also, follow me on Instagram at Geek Therapy Radio on Instagram. Again, all one word, Geek Therapy Radio on Instagram. Get at me. Tell me what you like. Tell me your geek thing, and let's nerd out about it. So I've never been much of a geek about bodybuilding. Some of you guys and gals out there are geeks about physiques. Geek physiques. Fageeks. Anyways, I pondered and I asked one of my friends who is very into CrossFit. They're part of that sexy cult that is CrossFit. And I said, so are you telling me sodium and sugar doesn't build muscle? And she said, no, it does not, to her knowledge. And you know what? Pun intended, I'm going to take that with a grain of salt because she's not a nutritionist. And who knows? What was the definition of insanity? Doing something over and over, expecting a different result. So if I keep drinking Coke and eating salty things, I might bulk up. No, I won't. I do not advise that diet to anyone. On a real note, I have lost over 30 pounds over, less than a year. Since last June, I've lost a little over 30 pounds. I was 194, which is not big. It's not big. I'm 6'1". 194, you don't really notice it on a 6'1" frame. But I'm down to, last time I checked the scale a couple days ago was 161.6, which is my high school 18-year-old fighting weight. And I know that sounds like a string bean, but it's really not. And my whole theory is I am trying to, like I said, I've never been a geek about physique. I've never been a fitness geek. But we all should try things at least once in life, not bad things. We sort of make these mistakes of doing bad things, let them just be mistakes that we fall into and keep them as a learning experience. But we can try new things, maybe at least once. So I decided I'm going to take my geek body back down to the slab. See what my foundation is. See how the studs are bolted into that foundation. Do I have a sturdy frame? So if I take it down to the slab, the theory is I can geek out and build it back up for once in my life. At least once. Just get geek jacked. Theoretically, I don't know. I believe I'm what they term as a hard gainer, which apparently is not a real thing, is just kind of an excuse, because hard gainer just means you just have to work a little harder. You have to tweak your diet to match your metabolism. And that is a gift that I have in my long lineage of ancestors, is in both sides of my family. To my knowledge, there is, thank God, no cancer, no obesity, no disease to speak of. My stock, my DNA is good stock, ladies. Let's put more geeks in the world. I'm going to stop that train of thought right there. I don't want to derail it 5 minutes into the first segment. So anyways, I've got this idea. Take myself down to the slab and then geek out maybe about fitness a bit and start and just maybe get ripped for once in my life. I don't care. See, I don't have such a passion about it. So I know it's going to be hard for me to accomplish that goal, to geek out about working out. I do like to work out. I have discovered that, and I think most people do discover that. It sucks. It's painful. Would you rather be sitting on the couch playing Rocket League or Tom Clancy or whatever? Would you rather be gaming or doing push-ups? Yeah, rather be sitting there eating potato chips. But once you get going, I try to do, and it's not a ton, it's just what I'm kind of starting out with, and I've been doing it for the past few months, just 100, 200 push-ups a day, which if you have not done that in years, or if you have never, ever done that, at first it's like, holy crap, which I'll say at first, you're not going to be doing 100 push-ups a day. Just try to do 10, and 10 sucks, and then try to do 20, and 20 sucks, and then I don't know if you build up this tolerance, but it just becomes something that becomes more and more natural. It's part of your routine. Make it part of your geek routine if you want. So anyways, that's what I'm doing. That's what I've started out with. I've been geeking out about push-ups. And that's all I'm going to say about that for now. We'll see what happens. I don't want to commit to everyone right now listening. Check back on me in a year. Since I took a year to drop 30 pounds, let's see if I can add 30 pounds of muscle back in a year. That's my goal, but I'm not making any promises right now because I don't want everyone to come back in a year. Hey, is Johnny is a fleek geek? Is he ripped? Is he a jacked geek? And then they look back and I'm just me. I'm just me doing my thing. I'm just happy to have health. Like I said, I'm not huge into fitness. I'm not a geek about fitness, but I do like, there's a bit of a conscious effort not to get unhealthy. So, for instance, if I notice in my life I'm drinking too much soda or something like that, I will stop drinking so much soda, or I'll cut it out completely, drink water. And it is amazing how much better you feel just even after one day of drinking water. First of all, your body is just a waterfall, if you know what I mean, because your kidneys and your liver are just like, what is this? What? Oh, thank you. Thank you for this. I can actually clean out all that crap, and you're just going to be peeing and peeing and peeing for a couple days once you go to all water, which is what you're supposed to do. Your kidneys and your liver is supposed to clean out all that crap from what you intake. So it's like your whole body just gets cleaned out on the inside. It feels great and it's rejuvenating. And one thing I've also noticed is if I get exhausted, if I'm really tired, lack of sleep, I don't depend so much on coffee and energy drinks and whatnot. What helps me the most, and it probably helps most people, whether they realize it or not, is drinking water. Water just helps keep your mind. You're still tired, you're still exhausted, but you don't feel just miserable. You're tired, but you can get through it. And it's almost like you have this low baseline of energy to get you through the day if you just keep drinking water. It was kind of an eye-opener to me that simply drinking water, staying hydrated if you're exhausted, will really help you get through your day. You know, in the back of my mind for this whole segment while I'm talking about fitness and water and my good stock, I'm trying to make it applicable to geeking out. But that's exactly what we just did. That's exactly what I just did. Our geek minds wander, and we fixate on these different topics. We might not fixate on them for prolonged periods of time, but it's certainly a geek thing to do, to fixate on fitness. And God bless you if you fixate on fitness. That's amazing. Of all the things to fixate on, of all the things to get your geek brain trained and tuned into, fitness has got to be like one of the top 3, maybe top 2 things to fixate on in your geek life. So if you're a fitness geek, God bless you. More power to you. Keep it up. Drop down right now and give me 20. I'll do 20 push-ups. Matter of fact, I'm going to start the next segment. I'm going to put the microphone down low. And I'm going to blast out 30 of them. I'm just going to blast out 30 and you'll hear my... You'll hear whatever you hear. We'll be right back. More Geek Therapy. I'm Johnny Hemberger. Come back to me! Okay, so how's this for a segment opener? I literally have the microphone, and I'll take a picture of it. I've got it about 2 feet off the floor. And I'm gonna rattle off 30 of these push-ups. And if you tune in about halfway through, I'm not making babies. I'm not being murdered. I'm doing push-ups. So don't get confused by the sounds you might hear. And I'm keeping on, even though it's March, radio stations are cold. So I'm wearing my Street Fighter 2 sweater. So I'm going for the full burn. I will take my glasses off because for some reason it just messes with my eyes when I'm doing push-ups. I guess all the blood flowing to it. I have no idea. I just take off my glasses for push-ups. So I'm going to stop stalling. And let's do it. Let me angle it down here a little bit. Oh, my back sucks. I forgot about that. Okay. All right. These aren't baby push-ups. These are lady push-ups. Well, I'm not going to say lady. I'm not going to be sexist. I'm not on my knees doing push-ups. I am on my tippity toes, fanny in the air. So, all right, let's do it. About shoulder width, a little bit more. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Oh, crap. 41, 2, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 40 freaking 8. Oh, 2 more. 49. Oh my gosh, 50. Holy crap, I said I'd do 30, I did 50. Oh, geez. Oh, geez, Louise, what have I done? That's not that bad, but my arms are freaking jello. Okay. Well, that was fun. Jeez. Okay. I just banged out 50 push-ups. Yeah, I feel it. I just chewed up 3 minutes of a segment working out. Yeah, that's what it sounds like when a geek works out. Heavy breathing. Wondering why he just did that on the air for whatever reason. But that's one of the things I'm trying to do on the show. Show you how the sausage is made. Let you peek at my Oh, I'm going to stop. Nope, can't go along that train of thought. Okay. I'm just going to get on to an actual subject that boggled my mind, continues to boggle my mind, and is stupid. Last year, in February or March, I went to Europe, and everyone was using the chip on their credit cards. The chip was already a thing in Europe. And so when we were there, I was like, this is stupid. And as soon as we got back home to the United States, the chip was required everywhere here. Also, just within the 2 weeks I was in Europe, it had come to the United States and was implemented everywhere. And the theory was, oh, the chip is going to make your card more secure. Bullcrap! I had my identity stolen instantly. My card information was stolen within a month or two. Somebody had stolen my information, probably read the chip somehow, and went on a shopping spree, like a sultan, to, here's where he went, he or she. I'm going to assume it's a he based on the purchase history I'm about to explain. He went to a strip club, the dollar store, and Schlitterbahn in Galveston. So here is how I sort of put together that gentleman's day. He went to the strip club, picked up a couple thoughts at the strip club, brought him to the dollar store on a shopping spree, bought a bunch of floaties and stuff, and then went to Schlitterbahn with his new lady friends. And I'm still breathing heavy. Oh, geez. So anyways, the chip fraud actually went up. This is fact. Fraud actually went up. Credit card fraud went up 16% in 2016. And I can't verify this next part, but from what I'm learning, since my chip doesn't work anymore, let me just say that the chip on my card does not work. It stopped working within a couple months of me getting the chip. So apparently Europe is starting to phase out the chip again. And one of my thoughts with that chip was, okay, now there's 3 ways. How is it making it more secure? Now there's 3 ways for an identity thief to get my information. Because before the chip, it was just a magnetic strip and then the actual physical credit card numbers and whatnot, security code. Now there's 3 ways. Now there's 3 ways for a thief to get my information. How is that supposed to make things safer? Well, it didn't. Obviously, it did not. Fraud went up. Credit card fraud went up in 2016. So I can't wait for us to get rid of the chip, because every time I go to the store, I have to do the chip dance, which the chip dance is you insert the chip 3 times, and then on the 3rd time it doesn't work, it says, use mag strip. Like, well, golly, I could have just used that the whole time now, couldn't I? Still breathing heavy. So the chip on credit cards is dumb. It's dumb, it's dumb, it's dumb. If you're listening to this and you have any part of the creation of the chip, you're stupid, and a lot of people don't like you. So I hope you get a coal in your stocking for this Christmas. And I hope the Grinch goes on a dollar store shopping spree with your credit card information. That's horrible to wish on anybody. I don't wish harm to anybody. I just want the chip to go away. I want whoever invented the chip to just be like, yeah, that was a mistake. Learn from it. Let's move on. I hope that person has a very happy life. Last topic I'll mention in this segment is a company called Wheelies is opening up a unclerked, unmanned convenience store in Shanghai for a test. It's a store that's accessible 24/7. People can walk in, pay for something, and leave, but there's no staff, there's no clerks, there's no checkout lines. They just pay for it and leave. Last time I checked, that was called a vending machine. But before I get too cheeky with it, it is actually kind of cool. What customers do is they download an app, and all they do is they walk in the store, they can scan their Tylenol or whatever into the app, and it charges their credit card. So that's kind of neat. It still just sounds like a glorified vending machine to me. But Godspeed, Wheelies. I hope it works. I hope your investors make millions of dollars. And good luck with that. It's probably going to be a good idea. And I'm going to come back to this show in a year and kick myself and say, Johnny, you were stupid. You should have invested in Wheelies, because now these clerkless convenience stores are popping up all over the world, and you could have retired by now. So we'll see how it all works out. Stick around. There's more Geek Therapy to come. It'll be good. It'll be fun. It'll be great. Remember, contact me, geektherapy@iheartmedia.com. That's my email, geektherapy@iheartmedia.com, and Geek Therapy Radio on Instagram. We will be right back.
Doing it right, everybody will be dancing and we're feeling it right. Everybody will be dancing and be doing it right. Everybody will be dancing and we're feeling alright. Everybody will be dancing tonight.
Welcome back to segment 3 of Geek Therapy. I am Johnny Hamburger, and guess what? We're going to talk about space now. Space. Yes, space is really there. No, the Earth is not flat. But we're going to talk about a moon. In particular, one of Mars's moons, Phobos? Yes, Phobos. And this is actually kind of interesting. Phobos is oddly shaped. It's not like our Earth's moon, where it's nice and round and reflective and plays a vital role in our planet's tidal systems and topography and evolution and stuff like that. Phobos, Mars's moon, is shaped pretty much like a potato and is one of the least reflective objects in our solar system. But there's a new theory about Phobos's, that sounds so weird to say, Phobos's life cycle. And that theory suggests that Phobos transitions between being Mars's moon and Mars's ring. Like Saturn has rings, it's a theory that Phobos goes from being just a ring of Mars, and then it clumps back together and becomes a moon, and then becomes a ring again. And this happens because over time, and they think it's happened 3 to 7 times. Basically, it clumps together, becomes a moon, and then as the orbit falls in closer to Mars, it succumbs to the tidal forces of gravity around Mars and breaks up into clumps of dirt and rock again. And lots of this material pours back down onto Mars, and what's left of it clumps back together again, and then gets closer, and then gets torn apart again. So that's very interesting to me, at least, that Mars's moon, Phobos, transitions between being a ring system and a moon over and over again, and it's been going on for, what do they say? This process of being a ring, being a moon, being a ring, being a moon has been going on for about 4.3 billion years. That's neat to me. What if, I know our moon at one point was a ring, it clumped together, but have you ever looked out and thought, what if Earth had a ring system? And I know there's photos online of artist mock-ups of what it would be like if Earth had rings like Saturn. And it's pretty amazing, the different perspectives that these artist mock-ups give, like what the ring would look like from the equator, what the ring would look like from New York City, what the ring would look like from the North Pole. Basically, the different, how wide it would appear and how bright it would appear in the sky. It's fascinating. So I thought that was a cool story. One of Mars's moons being a moon and a ring system over and over again, fluctuating through that cycle. That's neat. That got my nerd brain going. And now on to the next nerd thing. Let me push up my glasses here. Okay, they're up my nose now. Not up in my nose, but they're up the bridge of my nose. Okay, so the U.S. Army has begun to fit combat vehicles with drone-destroying laser weapons. Frickin' lasers that are being deployed on Army vehicles to take out drones. And this is neat. Here's why it's interesting to me, not just for the military tactical ramifications of blasting, spy drones out of the sky, enemy drones out of the sky. It's because military inventions have a way of trickling into civilian life. So what does this mean? If I go out and buy a new DJI Mavic Pro, whatever, what this means for some idiot flying his drone around an airport, these airports can have these laser turrets, basically. Like, think of Bush Intercontinental Airport. Just the perimeter has these laser weapons. So if you fly your little $1,000 drone, you're going to be cheeky, you're going to be a smart guy and be flying it around an international airport. You're gonna deserve to have it blown out of the sky by a laser. Just be watching your drone flying around, and all of a sudden, there's a bright flash, and it's just gone. You can't get your money back. This is the kind of technology that I want to see in action. Like, I want to go to a demo of this 6 kilowatt laser just blasting drones out of the sky, like a bug zapper. Bzz, bzz, bzz. Just these drones falling out of the sky, because that's just neat. A little puff of smoke, and then a $1,000 drone just falls out of the sky. That would be awesome to see. Then shoot, I want to see in Sky Mall or Sharper Image or Brookstone or whatever magazines sell that kind of stuff. Personal drone zapper, personal drone laser. Sign me up. Put one of them things in my chimney. I do not want, as a drone owner, I do not want my neighbor's drones flying down into my backyard. And I will take great glee in blasting them out of the sky, out of my airspace, with my own personal anti-drone laser. Although I will say this, I don't think, well, first of all, that's not safe. There's a much more effective way to secure your property from the prying eyes of your neighbor's drones. And that is something that I believe will be implemented over the next 10 years, easy, maybe next few years. That is, when you have a drone like a DJI Phantom, for instance, any drone that flies using GPS and whatnot, I think that your home Wi-Fi router is going to have the ability to put an anti-drone GPS fence around your property. That is a very simple way to keep your neighbor's drones out of your airspace above and around your house. Maybe a 400-foot bubble extending around your home from the ground up in a sphere. Super easy. Press the button. Now you have this invisible dome around your house, where I don't know how many of you have drones, but if you fly up to a GPS fence, your drone just stops there. Like, if you're watching it fly through the sky, it just goes, and it stops and hovers at this invisible boundary. So around your house, you'd have this bubble, and a drone be flying towards it and just stop. And there's no way it can descend through the bubble. There's no way it can go, laterally through the bubble. It's just no drones over your airspace. Maybe you'll have a special exception for the Amazon delivery drones. They can come down through your bubble, deliver your toilet paper, whatever, fly out. But your neighbor's little DJI Phantom, nope. You cannot see into my home because I don't need a laser. I just need a GPS fence. And that's something I think that will be implemented into Wi-Fi routers in the near future. Much simpler, much cleaner than laser turret. Although having a laser turret would be awesome. Would be more awesomer. So the last little tidbit for this segment, quickly, is Tesla has decided to drop the current cheapest model from their product line. So the cheapest Tesla Model S is going away, which makes sense because the new Model 3 is coming out later this year, and it's the Model 3, what is it? It costs, the sticker is going to be like $35,000. So I understand why they're getting rid of the cheapest Model S to make room for the quote-unquote budget Model 3. That makes sense. What doesn't make sense to me, which I just learned this, I just figured this out, I just saw this. The cheapest Model S shares the same 75 kilowatt hour battery as the more expensive model above it. But the only thing that made the cheaper model, which had 60 kilowatts available, was a line of code. What I'm saying is it had the same 75 kilowatt hour battery as the more expensive model, but the cheaper model simply only allowed the buyer access to 60 kilowatts of it. 75 kilowatt hour battery, but if you bought the cheapest model, you only get to use 60 kilowatts of it. What? So what you would do is, let's say you bought the cheapest model, you go in and pay a fee to unlock that other 15 kilowatts. I don't get it. I don't get that part. I like what Tesla's doing. I like what Musk is doing with Tesla. That part kind of made me scratch my head a little bit. But it all doesn't matter. The new Model 3 is coming out this year. They're getting rid of the cheapest Model S. Whatever. Model 3 is going to be pretty neat. Model 3 is going to be priced very competitively. And I think the Model 3 is going to be quite popular. With that, we'll be right back. There's more Geek Therapy. I'm still Johnny Hamburger. We'll see you in 4 or 5 minutes. Stay tuned right here. You got me. I'm back. We're back. The geeks are back. You're still listening to Geek Therapy. I'm still Johnny Hamburger, your mental curator for the evening. I've used that line once before, and I will continue to, and I'm probably going to do it again right now. I'm Johnny Hamburger, your mental curator for the evening. Geek Therapy at iHeartMedia.com. That's my email address, geektherapy at iHeartMedia.com, and Geek Therapy Radio on Instagram. All of it's one word. Geek Therapy Radio on Instagram. I just want, and want might be a strong word, to mention some things, some products that Apple has quietly announced this week. New iPad to replace the quote-unquote aging iPad Air 2. They're calling this new iPad the iPad. Again, they're just calling it the iPad. What's the new? Oh, after the iPad Air 2, what's it called? The iPad. Oh, wowee. Give that person a raise. That marketing genius. We need a new slick name to replace the iPad Air 2. What should we call it? Just call it the iPad. Meeting adjourned. You don't even, you get to lunch quicker. Go to your 2 martini lunch. Done. Call it the iPad. The significant thing about this iPad, which is basically nothing, is that it starts at $329. So exciting. Isn't that exciting news from Apple? They're also releasing a couple of red iPhones that symbolize their partnership with AIDS research, basically. So that's cool. I mean, of course that's cool. Good on Apple. I'm not going to slam Apple for being philanthropic in trying to end the curse that is AIDS. That's actually good. I don't like Apple myself personally, but credit where credit's due. I'm going to explain something real quick. I don't like to consider myself a fanboy of anything. Just because I don't like Apple doesn't mean I'm a fanboy of Android. I prefer Android. But it's kind of like I was raised watching the Boston Red Sox. My parents were from Boston. Or from New England, and my dad is from Boston, definitely. So we were raised loving the Red Sox, and I still do love the Red Sox. I love the Astros, too. I like the Astros, too. Don't anybody egg my car or anything like that. I like the Astros, too. Anyways, there's a different sort of fandom in New England, especially regarding Red Sox and the Yankees. You're supposed to hate the Yankees, but here's the thing. Apple's kind of like the Yankees, I guess. You know, when Derek Jeter would make a freaking acrobatic, just crazy superhero grab at shortstop, just jump like 15 feet in the air, just snap it, and then like gun the runner back out, you know, tagging back to first. That's amazing. Just because he's wearing a Yankees uniform, just because he's a bum, doesn't mean that he didn't make a good play. So, Apple, you made a good play. You turned 2 off of what would have been conceivably an RBI. I don't know how to tie that together with Apple and the Yankees, but whatever. Apple, you did good with your funding of AIDS research. That's great. Your products that you're coming out with this year, who cares? There's nothing spectacular about that. And I'll say also, on the Android side, I'm not just ripping into Apple for this. It's a well-known fact about me that I am unimpressed with current smartphones. Sure, the cameras have gotten better, but there's nothing for me to get excited about with smartphones anymore. You guys might know I'm still rocking a Galaxy Note 3 from 2013 because it still does everything I need it to do beautifully. The screen is still awesome. The processor is still great. Everything is still so fast. I have over 128 gigs of total storage on there, way more than that. I've got everything on there. I've got my emulators, I got my games, I got everything on there. And the camera's still great. So why there's not even an Android phone that's available now that blows me out of the water to go spend $800 on it. If my Note 3 is still doing great. And the real reason I love my Note 3 so much, what puts it over the top for me as still my favorite phone available today, is that I put a battery in there because you can remove the back plate. You can't do that with modern phones. It's all one frame. User cannot access the battery. Which, if they could, the Note 7 wouldn't have been such a disaster. Anyways, I have a battery on there that's 2.5 times the size of the stock battery, which means that I can go for days just using it as for phone and text. Like using it as much as I already use it, I can go for 2 or 3 days between a charge if I have to. And I know some of you guys are just guys and girls. When I say guys, I mean everybody. Using your phone, you probably can't go 18 hours. The battery, in the name of thinness, battery life is abysmal. And you have to constantly be around a charger. I don't have that issue with my Note 3 because I have a user replaceable and user upgradable battery on it. And I love that. So I'm still just sitting here waiting for the next Android or even Apple phone to do something truly remarkable to make me open up my wallet. I've got a card holder. Make me spend that kind of money on a new phone. And there's nothing out there today that I'm excited about, that I geek out about as far as phones or tablets are concerned. It's just, we've reached this kind of plateau, I feel, with mobile technology as far as tablets and smartphones go. I'm just trying to think, what's the next big leap forward that's going to get me, and probably a lot of other people, excited about a new phone, other than the camera. Because the cameras, since my phone came out in 2013, like I said, the cameras have gotten absolutely amazing for what they are. I think I'm going to use the last couple minutes here to address the therapy side of Geek Therapy. One of my goals for this show wasn't just to talk about new technology and new geek things and talk about bug collecting or astronomy or, like I mentioned earlier in the show, being a geek about fitness. All those things are temporary. Even the fitness thing. I mean, like, as far as being a muscle-bound hunk or hunkette, that's temporary. You are not going to have all of those glamour features when you're old age. We're all going to wither, and that's the point. So what I'm getting at here is part of the geek therapy thing is to be therapeutic for our soul, for our heart. I can't have an audience and not try to leave all of my geeks better each week. I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm rambling a little bit, but I have to do good in this world. And now that I have a platform to do good, I have to keep the promise to do good. So I'm going to let you behind the curtain just a little bit. I'm not going to expose any details or anything, but I, probably like many of you, have had kind of a pensive week, emotionally. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that things are just peachy all the time. My life's good. I'm not going to complain, Like I said, I don't have diseases. I've got good health and everything, but we all still can have emotional challenges, which is fine. And I just want to let you know that you are not ever, ever, ever alone in what you're going through. Ever. So if you think that no one's listening and no one cares, yes, they do. And if I care, send me an email. Hopefully I can get to them all. Hopefully I can give you some little bit of joy to take with you for the next week. But please, for the love of God, don't be so down on yourself to think that no one cares. People always care. There are people in your life who love you and care about you. So please remember that, my geeks. Please take that with you this week. You are not alone. At the very least, you have me. You are incredible. You are capable of good things. Just because you might be in a slump right now doesn't mean that's what it's going to be for your whole life. We're going to have these ups and downs. Let's ride that roller coaster together. Let's ride the highs. Let's ride the lows. And I will be here for you if you want me to ride that with you in whatever capacity I am logically able to do. Just telling you guys, I love you. Have a great week. Send me an email, geektherapy@iheartmedia.com, geektherapy@iheartmedia.com. Look me up on Instagram, Geek Therapy Radio on Instagram. That's Geek Therapy Radio on Instagram. Have a great week. I love you all. Let's geek out next week. Come, be here, turn your ears on. Let's have fun. Have a great week, everybody. I'm Johnny Hamburger.